Welcome back to the program, ladies and gentlemen. Well, last week Friday, we recognized and celebrated International Women's Day. And as we continue to try and encourage women all over about their powers, in doing so, education and empowerment, encouragement is very, very important. And that's exactly what Queen's Mindset aims to do. In fact, this morning I'm privileged to be joined by the founder and Chief Executive of Queen's Mindset, Miss Kamisha King. Good morning, Miss King. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us. And we're also very fortunate to have the project manager of the I Am Bold and Fearless Woman magazine, which, by the way, its latest edition was released, I think, just last week, Friday. Miss Vicky Otarina, she joins us as well virtually. Hello, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Well, good morning, ladies, and thank you both for joining me on the program. Ms. King, I want to start with you with respect to Queen's Mindset. I've read a lot about it. I've learned so much. But for the audience, to get a better understanding of exactly what your company's about, what your initiatives are about, please explain to them.
Definitely. So Queen's Mindset is a women's empowerment organization. It started back in 2017. It's an organization that was designed to help women to birth their dreams and walk in their vision. So we do a lot of birthing. We help them to discover who they are, and then we help them to execute what God has called them to complete on this earth.
Well, that's exactly where the magazine comes in, because we speak about empowering women, we speak about encouraging them. But Ms. Vicky, in terms of this magazine and its latest edition, exactly how is it doing just that?
Well, the magazine is featuring stories from women around the world, and these stories are basically sharing their testimony and their experience of resilience. So as women, they have the opportunity to come into this publication and just share what they've been through, share what God has brought them through, and how they've been able to overcome various situations. And with that, lives are being blessed and lives are being transformed since 3 years ago, because this is the third edition that Kamisha has executed.
Yes, I believe we saw one on March 8th of 2022. Just last week we had the other edition last year, May 12th. Was the second edition. And all are available online, by the way. So guys, after this interview, you can't leave now. You're going to have to wait until afterwards. You can go online and access the magazines. Ms. Vicky, I just want to come back to you on that point. How is sharing other experiences or the stories of other women actually opening up the mindsets of those who may be reading it?
I love that question because many of the women who are sharing their stories, they're sharing their stories of resilience. These are women in ministry. These are women who are in corporate. These are women who are sometimes just ordinary women. And with their stories of what they have gone through as they share their stories, is helping to encourage other women who are now going through a similar situation or who have been through there. So they're being empowered, they're being inspired, and they're actually seeing things from a new perspective, because with their stories, they're saying, oh, I did not recognize that this is something I can do. They're looking at things differently. So that gives them the opportunity to shift their mindsets by just reading what is there. But it doesn't stop there, because we have so many other things attached to it. One of the things that we have attached to the magazine is the I Am Woman show. So they get to hear firsthand from those cover girls who are part of the magazine for that edition, where they share their testimony. So they get to meet them, they get to talk with them. So it really helps to build and encourage that person, that woman who's watching, so that they can change or shift their mindset.
Ms. Otayorino, in that sense, I'm selecting the narratives to actually, put this magazine together may not always be very easy. There's so many inspirational stories out there. Everybody's journey is different. What is the focus actually when trying to piece this together?
Thank you so much for that. The focus is simple. we get your story, and we just want to see that transformation has taken place. First of all, it takes a lot for any woman or any man to share what they've been through and how God has changed their lives and how they've been able to walk with such power today. But we look for women, or we look for stories that are can just show the transformation has taken place. And that's it. Simple. And once we get that, definitely we feature you, because it's Kamisha's job, her role, her purpose to showcase these type of stories so that her audience can be transformed.
And in an audience being transformed, I'm going to ask both you ladies now, what is your belief in yourself? What is your empowering message to your audience?
My empowering message to my audience is that it is possible, because all things are possible with God. And many times we are not in pursuit of the dream, the purpose, or the goal because we don't think that is possible. So my message for that woman who is watching here today is that it is possible. Whatever it is that you are in pursuit of, it is possible. All you have to learn now is how to get it done. But we don't start by saying that it's impossible. We start by figuring out how can we make this happen. So that would be my message that I lead by, that encourages me to make sure that I get the job done every time.
Ms. Otari, your empowering message to all those watching.
My empowering message is you are called to be great. You may have been through some hard places, some hard things, but with that story, it's going to be turned into purpose, pain to purpose. So take the opportunity to share that story. Take the opportunity to bring freedom to other lives through Queen's Mindset and through the I Am Bold and Fearless Woman magazine, which of course you can go on the website and begin sending in your stories for 2025. So we expect them.
But this is a huge project. This is not just something that you aim for International Women's Day, because I understand that the magazine is accessible in 25 different languages at over 120 countries worldwide. That's an extensive project. Ladies, the team behind you, you have to mention them in this program.
Definitely. Having Dr. Vicky a part of this project it has just been mind blowing because of the wealth of knowledge that she has and experience that she has in this area, and in partnering with Divine Purpose Publishing, which is also one of Dr. Vicky's babies. That's what helped us to be able to make such an impressive reach, because through her we've been able to partner with pressreader.com and Zeno.com and some other ones as well, and that's what's really given us that extension and that impact from this magazine.
Well, I just, before we bid farewell, I want a bit more information on how people can actually access this magazine, where they can go to get their hands on a copy. Ms. Otari, if you would like to just explain to the audience.
Sure, definitely. You can go to queensmindset.net, and there you can get information to, of course, read the current issue and also how you can register for the upcoming issue. There you will have access not only to the digital format, but you can go ahead and purchase the print format. No matter where you're from around the world, you can get your own copy.
And I think you should definitely purchase your printed copy. Support the initiative by these two ladies who are really trying to inspire all. And it's not easy work at all. 25 different languages over across 120 countries. Ms. King, and before we bid farewell, people can actually get in contact with you through your website. Can you please share with them some more information?
Definitely. So you can reach us at our website. That's www.queensmindset.net. Or you can go straight to Instagram, send us a message right there at Queen's Mindset, or Facebook at Queen's Mindset. We're also on YouTube as well at Queen's Mindset. If you want to send us an email, you can send us an email at queensmindset.qm@gmail.com.
Well, I already asked you for your empowering message, so now I'm going to ask you for your concluding words. Ms. King, if you want to start with you.
Definitely. I really want to encourage every woman, especially now in this season. I know the term, the theme for this year is about accelerated progression. I want to encourage you to make that first step. It's important that you make that first step. Sometimes we can get in our heads and we can tell ourselves a lot of stuff. So I want you to take the first step. And as you take the first step in pursuit of the vision or the goal or whatever you've been called to, I want you to trust that it is possible, trust that you are capable, trust that you have what it takes. And through the process, I want you to be able to begin to celebrate every step, celebrate yourself, celebrate that you are overcoming. Even though you may experience some form of failure along the way, we're not looking at failure as a setback, but we're looking at failure as a set up, because it's helping to develop you to grow and to be able to accomplish what you have been called for. So that would be my final words that I want to leave with you. As this magazine highlights resilience, I want to highlight your resilience by celebrating who you are and what you have achieved thus far, because you have been built and born for this.
We were fortunate because we didn't have to book a session with Miss King this morning. She just gave it to us on a platter. Miss Otarina, your concluding words with us this morning.
Thank you so much. My concluding words, as Kimmy, just to add to what Kimmy just said, it's all about accelerating. And for you to accelerate, you need to take the first step. The first step, if you're going through something, to be healed. The first step, if you are called to transform and impact lives, to get up and share that story. So that's it for me. Simply get moving and make that first step. And of course, as you accelerate, look forward. I said 2025, but in 2024, there's some amazing projects on the horizon with I Am Bold and Fearless Woman magazine. So keep connected to Queen's Mindset.
Well, ladies, I'd like to thank you so much for joining me on the program, but I'd also like to thank you both on this initiative in particular, because I mean, I know that even putting together a magazine is not the easiest of work, but when you are trying to inspire and encourage others, and sometimes you find yourself in a difficult situation, it's very tiring, it's exhausting, and the mere fact that you've put all your hard work and you focus so much on wanting to encourage others, well, we can safely say that both of you have taken that first step, probably many more. And we look forward to all that you guys have to offer, all that is to come. So thank you so much for joining us on the program this morning.
It's welcome. Thank you for having us.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Keep well, ladies. All the very best. And I look forward to what's in the year ahead.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, for you to get more information, you can visit Queen's Mindset website, or you can even get in touch with the I Am Bold and Fearless Woman magazine. As mentioned, actually, there are digital copies that are available for free. But come on, guys, support it. You can order your printed copies. There is a cost attached, but it's all for a good cause, as we try to help spread the message of I Am Bold and Fearless Woman magazine. So thank you very much to Mr. King and Mrs. Otarina for joining me on the program this morning. It's been a pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, we still have some time before we have to get our news on the hour. So I'm going to share with you a regional update now, and it's coming from Cuba. In fact, we do have a couple updates from Cuba to share with you, but I'm going to share with you the first one. Now, Cuba faces an economic crisis. We are aware of that, but the country is grappling with severe shortages, rising child malnutrition, and a historic appeal for UN aid. The crisis has been exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic and US sanctions, leaving Cubans struggling to access basic necessities and leading to surge in protest across the country. As the situation remains dire, many are hoping that the international community will respond to Cuba's calls for help. So let's just take a look at this update from Cuba.
Cubans have been accustomed to standing in line for basic goods for decades, but after 4 years of a deep economic crisis, scarcity on the island has become even more acute. Right now in Havana, long lines of cars snake outside petrol stations because there's not enough fuel. Meanwhile, agriculture production on the island has plummeted in recent years because there's no longer enough money to import fertilizer. Now, all of these things end up reducing Cubans' access to food, which is running into major difficulties. Now, for the first time in history, the Cuban government, which trumpets food security as one of the main achievements of the revolution, has asked the UN World Food Programme to help it get milk to the island's children.
Children are supposed to get 3 kilograms of milk a month, but now they are only giving 1.5 kilograms a month.
Milk. I can't remember the last time I drank milk. It's very expensive.
Although we have difficulties, we're still alive, like we Cubans say.
As far as milk is concerned, Cuban children are very privileged compared to other children in the world.
Before they used to give 2.3 kilos of rice per person per month. Now they give nearly half a kilo of rice per person per month. And that's when it's available.
Cubans have lived under tough US sanctions for well over half a century, and yet, ever since 1962, the Cuban state has ensured that every child in this land has access to milk. Today, every child up to the age of 7 is supposed to receive 3 kilograms of powdered milk every month. Now, that's one of the reasons why UNICEF, a little over a decade ago, declared that Cuba was the only country in Latin America and the Caribbean to have eliminated severe child malnutrition. But in recent years, amongst the population at large, malnutrition has increased while hunger has returned.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pause the regional updates because of time. I know it was only one. We do have more to share with you, of which we will in due course. That's okay, but that's just one from Cuba, because there is some good news actually coming out of Cuba as well, of which we will get into later on. Now, before we break for our news of the hour, I just want to share with you a public service announcement courtesy of AM Prime. So let's take a look at this flyer, ladies and gentlemen. You can support Sacrifice of Praise. Join us. Tickets only $250 TT dollars. It's on the 16th of February. Come together and let's celebrate culture. Let's celebrate art. Let's celebrate music, ladies and gentlemen. We can all share a wonderful time together on the 16th of March. Well, guess what? Tickets, as I mentioned, are only $250. A sacrifice of praise. Time together, a time for healing, a time for celebration, a time for love, and a time for joy. Join us at Sacrifice of Praise on Saturday, 16th of March from 7 p.m. at Naparima Bowl. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we now take a break here on AM Prime. We head for our news, and when we return, well, something wild is lurking in the distance. It smells like Ricardo mead. We'll be right back after this.